Hi, it's Rana, and today I have another layout for Scraplift Crafternoon, and today we are scrap lifting the amazing Kim Jenkins. She has this layout here using a 49 in Market paper, and I had that paper and I actually toyed with the idea of using that, but I decided I would just go ahead and make my own background. So those are the pictures I'm going to scrap lift, and they are of my granddaughter wearing some little chicken jammies that her brother really thought she needed. He has chickens at Grandma's house, and he loves his chickens, and he thought she needed that. I think he's also picked out a chicken shirt for me, and he really likes the chicken things. So what I'm showing you here are papers that I had printed from Pretty Little Studio's brand new collection, You Are My Sunshine, and she has digitals. So I went ahead and purchased some of the digitals and had them printed, and that's what I'm showing you here. They're gorgeous. I love them, and the new collection with everything in it should be here at my house tomorrow. So I will be doing an unboxing for that. So if you'd like to see all of the new goodies that I have coming, check back in either tomorrow or Tuesday, and I should have that up on my channel as well. So cute. These were all 6x9s. She doesn't have 12x12 papers on her digitals, but she does have the 6x9 packs, and then she has several other of the embellishments. So I did some stars, some butterflies, the brackets. I did some borders. I don't think I show those here. I am going to do some stitching because there's stitching in the background on the piece of paper. And and I did some titles as well. So I went through the accent pack and chose some papers that I'm going to use for my background, and I also picked out some threads. And so I want to, of course, do some stitching, and I'm going to start by tearing the paper. In the background of Kim's page, the background paper has lots of layers of different colors. And so I'm going to choose, several colors, and I'm going to do the same thing. Now hers, on that 49 Market paper, it looks like some of it is notebook punched, and some of it there's several different edges. But I'm going to go with torn edges for mine. You saw I just tore straight down on one, that first layer, and then this one I went back and forth, and it kind of gives it a little bit different torn look. This one, or the yellow one, which I just laid back down, but that yellow one has the center of that it looks like torn paper. That's what the edging is. And so I thought that was really neat. So I'm going to tear so that torn piece is in the center of it. So I'm going to use, basically, it's like I'm using two different patterns with that torn edge in the middle. And I really like how that looked with what I was doing. And my thread for that particular one, the yellow, it's kind of hard to tell on my screen, I hope you can see it, but that yellow has these pink little delicate flowers, and so I'm going to use pink thread over it, and I like how it turned out. So I'm glad that I went with that instead of just adding the yellow again on that one. So then this one, when I tore it, you can see still some of the yellow flowers on the second side, the torn side, and I liked how that looked too. So you'll see how we use that in a minute too, but I thought it looked kind of neat. So I'm still trying to make sure I really like the threads for each one, and I do end up staying with those ones that I initially chose. So we'll get the rest of it torn, see how each thing looks, and I'm going to go kind of back and forth and have some under both sides, some over both sides, but those are the colors that I'm going to go with. Now I was going to go ahead and poke the holes before I stuck it down on the white background, but I thought I better not do that. I'm going to go ahead and lay these all out and make sure I have them, different lengths, and get the edges all roughed up and all of that before I poke the holes and do anything else on that part. And also, because the background paper that Kim used, it has some mixed media look to it, with some it looks like watercolor splashes and things. So I'm going to, once I get this kind of decided on, I'm going to go ahead and find some ink colors and do some of that as well. So I decided that floral there is going to be underneath both pages, or both papers on both sides, and I thought that was a nice layer, so they're not uniform, they're all a little different. So I'm still kind of looking at that to make sure that that's how I want it. I'm not going to add any other paper. I like how that looks, but I'm going to toy around with what else I might use on it before I decide on the mixed media portion. So that the little orange piece that I have there kind of mimics one that Kim used on hers, and the orange one that I'm using, it says, "The good things in life are better with you," and I liked that. I'm going to use several of the hearts. Now, the heart paper that I printed from the digitals, I bought the PDF, and so it prints it all, but then you have to cut it out. Some of these others, like that little title and the borders that I have and the stars and the butterflies, those are the ones that are, no, those are ones that you can, those are PNGs that you can actually load onto Cricut. You download your file, then you can upload it into Cricut and go in as a print to cut. Then what I did was print it to a PDF and then have it printed, and then you can go back in and Cricut will actually cut it. So that's what I did for all of the butterflies and stars, those brackets, the banners that I'm going to be using at the end here. You don't see them, I don't think, in the video, but they are going to be added at the end. I didn't have them printed yet during this part of the video, but I decided that I needed those too, so I added those in. So I'm using some Catherine Pooler inks to do my mixed media, and the orange is Orange Twist, and it's a very bright orange, and it was a real good color with those papers. And then my pink is called Samba, I'm not sure, and it was a little bit brighter than the pink in the paper. So what I'm doing is laying the color down, and then I'm blotting it up with my paper towel there, so I'm still left with color, but it's not going to dry as dark. The yellow I'm using is, I cannot see the name, Limoncello, I believe, and that one also was perfect as is, so I let that dry naturally. And then the blue, I believe, is All That Jazz. I may show that here in a minute, I'm not positive. I kind of was trying to decide between 3 different colors, and that one also was darker, but when I blot it off, it makes the perfect color. So I had quite a bit of that, and then I blot it off so that I'm just left with that lighter shade. So I don't know if you've tried that or not. Sometimes when you water it down and then splatter it on, it's darker than you want, but if you blot it, it makes the perfect color. So I always try that out on a piece of scrap paper, see what it's going to look like dried naturally, and see what it looks like if I blot it, and so that I can come up with the colors that I want. So I distress the tops and the bottoms, and then down the edges if the edge is going to show. So if it's completely covered up by the one that's next to it, I don't worry about it, but if it's going to show, then I go ahead and distress it with my little distressing tool. And you can see my paper towel over there to try and catch all of that edging stuff. And I just give it a little bit. It doesn't need a whole lot. And I'm going to, of course, rough it up with my fingers a little bit as well. So, and there is the pink, and I believe I have two more after this one. That one kind of has a darker pink at the top and then the lighter at the bottom. And there's like a little diagonal piece in the middle, which is really pretty, but it ends up getting covered up by the picture anyway. So then I go into the orange, and then this one is going to lay so that it's over top of both the pink and the orange. And it has both pink and orange in it. And I tried to do that. So the blue on the first end kind of ran into the yellow, and one of the blues has yellow flowers on it. And then the end of the yellow line, the last paper with the yellows has that light pink, and then pink is the next strip. And then the first orange strip also has pink. It has a little bit of blue in it too, but it also has the pink, and then the last one just has the tones of orange. So I love how they work together. It looks like it was just meant to be with this, so I thought that was really pretty how that worked out. And I love the accent packs. I usually get that in both the 6x9 and the 12x12s, and I did order that. Spoiler alert, if you're going to watch the unboxing, those are going to both be in there, because I just love how they work. They make beautiful backgrounds. Although a lot of the 12x12s that come in this collection are gorgeous, and you don't need a background, but even if you're not using it for your own background, you can use these to mat or die cut. I mean, they're beautiful, and they have the colors that are in the collection, so I am so super excited to get that. So I showed you that I was using my little Tim Holtz ruler and poking all my holes, and now I am going to do my stitching. I've already started with the blue, and I'm just showing you here I'm doing my favorite little chain stitch. So you go up through the empty hole, go under the stitch, and then down through the same hole to complete the stitch. So I'm going to show you a few of those. I didn't get all of the stitching that I did on this layout filmed. When I was doing my very last stitch, which was something different that I hadn't done before, most of it was off screen, so I just cut all of that out because there was no reason to show it when you couldn't see what the needle was doing anyway. So I didn't have enough of it to really show you what I was doing, so I just didn't include that in this video. I will probably do that stitch again, and I'll kind of try to explain it better the next time I use it, so you can be on the lookout for that. I do love stitching on my layouts, and I've had some requests for more stitching to be shown. Sometimes I do stitching off screen and I don't show it, but I will show little bits, and it's not going to take me too long. Here I've gotten all of the chain stitching done, and then I did just a regular back stitch for the yellow. That's a really easy stitch, and anyone can do that. This is a regular back stitch with this light pink as well, all the way up, but then when you get to the end, you go back and forth, and that's what I'm doing here. All of this part of the stitch is done on top of the paper, so you can see where you just go back and forth, and you don't pull it real tight. It just gives you an extra little something to it. You're going to see that in the close-ups here in a minute, and I will zoom in when I finish showing a little bit of this so that you can see all the stitches that I did do. because the very last one is a variegated thread, and what I did with it is a running stitch. And a running stitch, instead of a back stitch, it's not solid. It's leaving a space, it's evenly spaced, and it's leaving a space all the way through. So what I did was a running stitch, and I went all the way to the top with my running stitch, and then I came back down doing a running stitch kind of to the side of it where it's offset from where the other one was. So then there wasn't spacing, and then I did it back up again a third time, and I think it turned out pretty neat. I don't use the variegated DMC floss very often, but it was kind of a neat look, and because the layer has there I'm kind of showing you what I've done so far, the chain, the back stitch, and then this stitch, and then here you can see that variegated stitch I'm talking about. It's a variegated thread, and then I just did, basically I did 3 running stitches, so it fills it in like a back stitch would, but they're kind of offset. And there's the light pink right there that I went back and forth, and you can see how that kind of just adds a little something. It almost looks like a little bit of a zigzag, but it's not. And then I did not go all the way through with my back stitch on the yellow because I knew the photo was going to cover a lot of that up. So I was just saving myself a little bit of time. And I slowed that down so that I would be able to show it and wouldn't be going too fast. And now we're back up to fast speed here. And I'm going to show you part of my embellishing choices, and I did not finish embellishing this on screen. I actually was waiting for some flair from Scrappin Happy Studio to come in, and my it's her brand new release is what I'm waiting for, and it was supposed to be delivered Saturday, which is when I'm doing this voiceover, and it did not make it. So it will probably be delivered on Monday, and I may just show that with my unboxing of Pretty Little Studio. I might just show that one right in there with it. It's just a few pieces of the brand new flare, and I was kind of taking these flare that you're seeing here, the hearts, and using those to as placeholders. But the orange that's down there by that orange heart, that's going to stay there. And then the flare that I'm getting it from the new release, I'm going to show you a picture of it here in a little bit, and that's going to go in a couple of places. One of them will be between the 2 pictures at the bottom. I'm going to put one, it'll be over the title, and then the other will be up there at the top where I finally decide to put a large heart up there, and it's just going to overlap that a little bit. So you're going to see a little bit of the embellishing. Like I said, I didn't do a whole lot of embellishing, and then I cut away because I thought I was going to finish it all up. Here you can see where I added the borders, one at the far left with that, and then one in between 2 layers by the blue stitching. So you can see all of those, and I will be adding the final picture after I put that cute little chicken flare from Scrappin Happy Studio. I will add those pictures to Instagram and possibly the Facebook page as well. So I'll have new final pictures to be able to add in those places if you would like to check out what I actually did to finish it up. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you will hop along and see what the other Scraplift Crafternoon ladies do. It's always fun to see everyone's take on the photo that we are scraplifting. So have a great day, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.